Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching NDTV. There's a political war over the seeds that Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has been allegedly eating. The dip in his sugar levels, the sweetness of the mangoes that the ED alleges that he's been eating in the last few days, and the lack of adequate medical care for a diabetic like him in Tihar jail. Mr. Kejriwal, in fact, wrote to Tihar jail authorities alleging that he was not being administered insulin despite flagging his peaking sugar levels. Jail officials have maintained that he did speak to expert doctors online and that the issue of insulin was neither raised by Mr. Kejriwal nor was it suggested whether doctors were part of the consultation process. Now, while this has become a major flashpoint between the Aam Aadmi Party and BJP, the Rouse Avenue Court today has rejected a petition by Mr. Kejriwal for daily 15-minute video consultations with his doctor, but the court has ordered the constitution of a medical panel of specialist doctors to decide if he actually needs regular insulin shots. Now, the question we ask tonight is, who is politicizing the matter that pertains to health and essential medical care in prisons? Joining me now is Anmol Pawar, who is the spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, also a Supreme Court lawyer. We also have Dr. Rakesh Pandit, who is the HOD Internal Medicine, Akash Healthcare. And we also have Ashutosh Srivastava, who is an advocate at the Supreme Court. Starting with you, Mr. Pawar, before Mr. Kejriwal was arrested, your party kept saying that almost every day that he's going to be arrested. And now, he's going to be jailed. And now you're saying that he's being killed by being deprived of medical attention. Many would say that there is a certain pattern in your handling of issues. Many can also see it as scaremongering to score a political point. How do you see this, sir?
Not at all, Vasudha. In fact, the order passed by the Rouse Avenue Court today, it proves that the jail authorities failed in their constitutional duty to provide proper medical healthcare facilities to a 3-time sitting Chief Minister of Delhi. He has been treated inhumanely, and it is very unfortunate that a person who arranged free treatment for every Delhiite is now struggling for his own medicine. And we must not forget that the Constitution of our country grants each and every citizen fundamental right to health and medical treatment. So that must not be denied, and it is a conspiracy to kill him because the Bharatiya Janata Party, working in collusion with the Enforcement Directorate, knows that they cannot defeat him electorally because they are running away from answering the real question. In fact, the Honorable Home Minister, when he was questioned day before yesterday, that why did the BJP take 60 crore bribe from the alleged kingpin of the liquor scam, and why isn't the Enforcement Directorate investigating the matter? He was fumbling. He refused to answer the question.
Right.
So that is the reason they do not want the Enforcement Directorate to investigate the matters. Rather, they want the ED to peek into the lunchbox of a particular person.
Right. Mr. Pawar, but don't you think this whole rhetoric, something that basically goes a little overboard because there are insulin, though Kejriwal ko protest happening, you could have let your lawyers handle this, right? Isn't it?
See, we have submitted before the Honorable Court that we were on an insulin reversal program since February 1. But that has to be reduced in a phased manner. So when he was arrested on 21st of March 2024, he was on insulin reversal program, but in the last 15 days, his sugar level was above 300, which as per the officials of Enforcement Directorate and jail authorities was normal. But the normal sugar level is somewhere around 100 to 120.
Right.
So how can we believe
Let me just bring in the doctor here. Dr. Pandit, how do you see this? Mr. Kejriwal is a type 2 diabetes patient. So tell us, how do jails need to equip themselves with this kind of essential medical care? And Mr. Kejriwal, initially was on insulin and then he was not. And then, of course, now he says that he was on insulin. How do you see such a medical condition, sir?
See, one thing is, we have to keep sugars under tight control. But not necessarily you have to give insulin only. Giving insulin, there are certain indications, and we know that during stress the sugars can go up. But if he's not adequately controlled, besides if he's taking more than 3 oral hypoglycemic agents, and then you can assess that whether he needs an insulin. And insulin also, there are many types, whether he needs then once a day insulin, which takes care of fasting sugars, or if there is peak after having some meal. So there are different insulins which we can be given. But insulin, giving insulin or not giving insulin, that you have to see what the reports are, what is the CGM pattern when the sugars are spiking up, and so whether he is not responding to oral medications, whatever he has been given.
Right. Ashutosh ji, Mr. Kejriwal has said that, despite him flagging his concerns, he's not being administered insulin. Do you think that the BJP should be concerned that this might not look good for them, especially when there are conversations about this alleged democratic backsliding, specifically with the alleged misuse of agencies? And this is something that you think that the party should be worried about?
See, first of all, when the jail authorities allowed Mr. Kejriwal to have the consultancy with the AIIMS doctor earlier, nothing like that was advised by the doctor. And secondly, when he applied, before the court, asking the court to allow him to have the consultancy with the, doctors for 15 minutes every day over a video call, which was denied by the court, in fact, considering everything being submitted before the court. Right. So the courts are already, scrutinizing the issues, and they are supervising each and every issue. So it is not that any political party, BJP or whatsoever, are responsible. It is every day-to-day functioning. India is a country of rule of law, which has to be followed and which has to be administered by the authorities and also by the court of law. So I think it is baseless allegation against any political party who has got no role so far as the authorities, their functioning, or the jail authorities, their manuals, or the courts, their functioning administration, or the orders are, considered. So everything is being done by the courts after considering and going through the submissions, whatever is being, told to the court, and the evidences are taken on record. And accordingly, the courts are passing orders. And, to even complain about such orders, I do not think it is right. Right. So far as, today's order is concerned, the court has already said that there can be a medical board which can be constituted by the jail authorities, and who can have certain experts who can see whether he needs insulin or not. It is not that it has come to the knowledge of the court, or it has given any remark in its order that it was, the administration of insulin was completely rejected by the jail authorities. So it is wrong to say there is no such finding in the court's order today. In fact, it
Mr.
has...
Kumar, would you like to respond to that? He is making an important point here, that it is not just the Tihar jail authorities or the BJP or the centre or ED. It's also the court saying the same thing. See, I also feel that across the world, many leaders have tried to make a point when they are in prison. Is Mr. Kejriwal trying to do the same? But here, the context is also different, because there's a money laundering case here. There are other people, not just from your party, who have also been made accused. So do you think that this politicizing this will only end up damaging the party?
Vasudha, we are not politicizing. We are concerned about the health of the Delhi Chief Minister. The Enforcement Directorate consistently lied before the Honorable Court. Initially, they said that they had a team of requisite doctors, but the people of this country got to know about the reality day before yesterday, when they, for the first time, wrote seeking opinion of a senior diabetologist from AIIMS. It is for the first time on 20th of April, after 1 month, when the sugar level of Delhi CM was rising above 300. And he's an acute diabetic since last 22 years. He was given 30 doses of insulin, whereas it was 54 doses were required.
Right.
So it was a basic demand. Right to health is a fundamental right guaranteed even to a prisoner. Absolutely. And he's not even a convict. He has been falsely implicated in a case. And the entire modus operandi of this whole drama created by the Enforcement Directorate is to ensure that the people of this country don't ask them that why did they take 60 crore bribe from the alleged kingpin of the liquor scam? Why did the Enforcement Directorate did not oppose the bail of P. Sharad Reddy? Why did the Enforcement Directorate
Ashutosh, would you like to respond to that? Because, right to health is an important demand, and it is something that, even the Constitution agrees on. And, and who do you think is politicizing the whole matter here, Ashutosh?
Yes. See, I would like to say, everybody is concerned about the health of anybody, any citizen of this country, whoever is arrested. That is the right of the prisoner. I completely agree. But at the same time, here I want to make a submission that the court has already constituted and said that you constitute a proper medical board. Let the board examine. So far as the jail authorities are concerned, well, they have not at all denied earlier also. He had taken consultancy, and see, if anybody is arrested, that person is always taken for medical examination before, as soon as the person is arrested. And if any medical emergency or anything is required, is always administered. So now if you see the time frame, he has been arrested on 21st of March. Now it is 22nd of April today. And there has not been any such complaint, and the reports, whatever would have been taken over by the concerned doctors at the time of the arrest, I mean, that should have given that kind of information, whether he required any insulin or not.
Absolutely.
So I do not think, see, the question is raised by my learned friend is basically he's making allegation against the jail authorities. So he means to say that the jail authorities will work under the influence of a political party when we have the courts, competent courts to look at all these issues. And
okay, I'll come to Mr. Pawar now, but let me just go to Dr. Pandit for a minute. As a doctor, do you feel that in a civilized society, should such discourses on matters such as health reach such levels, sir?
No, I don't think so. Means, as rightly said, every citizen has a right to good health. And regarding this insulin, means whether 54 units was to be given or this thing, but I think this changes every day. Means we have a fixed dose of insulin, basal insulin, which is given at night. There we usually start by 10, can go up to 20 or 30. And 54 means then he must have been taking multiple injections 2 or 3 times. And obviously, I think jail authorities or whatever sugars have been monitored. And if he is requiring insulin, obviously he should be given insulin. Whether he requires or not, that I think we have competent people there, or he must have been seen by the medical board also. And I think they are competent enough to let us know whether he requires insulin or not.
Right. Dr. Pandit, this case has also brought out the state of prisons in India and the kind of medical care that is expected but, actually exists. How equipped should jails be, how equipped should jails be to deal with medical emergencies of this sort? Because, here we are talking about a high profile prisoner, but, there are hundreds of people in jails who might require that kind of care. And the track record of Indian jails when it comes to medical care does leave a lot to be desired, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously means all jails should be well equipped, and they should have round the clock facilities to be provided to all prisoners, irrespective of even their status. But even yes, we have a high profile patient who is there. They definitely should be taken more care. And regarding diabetes, what we are afraid that the patients, what complications they develop is they should not get diabetic ketoacidosis,
right,
where the sugars spike and the ketones come in the urine. So which obviously is an indication for insulin. But I hope they're monitoring it on daily basis. You must be on a continuous glucose monitoring also. That is called CGM, where his sugars must be measured every 1 hour, even half hour, where we have a scanner. You just use the scanner and you can get live reports anytime. No need to prick every time. I'm sure that he must be using that, and jail authorities must have provided that to him.
Right. Anmol, how do you see this playing out politically for you? Because, this constant cry that there's a conspiracy to kill Arvind Kejriwal. Do you see this, sort of like, gaining your sympathy? And how do you see this impacting your Delhi results? Because there is BJP, which has changed, all candidates except one in Delhi. And there is also Aam Aadmi Party and Congress fighting this, election and contest together this time. How do you see this working out for you politically?
Vasudha, people have already given a clear mandate when BJP was forced to change 6 out of 7 sitting MPs in Delhi for their inefficient governance for the past 5 years. Moreover, BJP and their leader, Mr. Narendra Modi, knows that if there's a leader who can challenge him electorally, it is Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, because the Bharatiya Janata Party has been defeated time and again by the Aam Aadmi Party in previous assembly elections. Secondly, as my learned friend said that about jail authorities, I must make it clear that the jail authorities are working at the behest of Lieutenant Governor of Delhi, which has been appointed by Bharatiya Janata Party.
Right.
And it is a grave negligence on the part of jail authorities. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has written a letter to DG Prisons today, stating that he has been consistently demanding for insulin dose, but he has been denied.
Right. Let me just give the last word to Mr. Srivastav. Ashutosh, do you think that the Aam Aadmi Party would have been better if it had let its lawyers handle this matter instead of approaching it politically?
See, I'm really surprised to my learned friend's statement. He means to say the LG is regulating the jail authorities. So that means, can anybody also regulate the court authorities, the judges, the judicial system? I mean, see, the matter is already coming up before the courts. The courts are already, examining each and every aspect of the matter so far as the applications are being filed by any accused before the concerned trial court. And the trial court, after looking and examining everything, are passing orders. So that means, can LG have any sort of, control over such orders? Not at all. See, we are a country of rule of law, as I said. Okay. And whatever is the orders are passed with the.
Okay, Mr. Pawar, would you like to quickly respond to that?
By the courts.
Yeah, would you like to quickly respond to that?
Ashutosh ji, a medical board was constituted today when the court got to know that all the submissions which were made by the Enforcement Directorate and jail authorities were incorrect. That till date,
no, it is not the case.
None of the senior diabetologists ever consulted Mr. Kejriwal. He was refused consultation with any of the doctors. There was no specialized doctor to look after his health. And it was on the intervention of the
I'm out of time completely. Thank you, Mr. Pawar. Thank you, Dr. Pandit. And thank you, Ashutosh, for joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Kejriwal, the Delhi Chief Minister, has been in Tihar jail since the 1st of April after being arrested by ED in connection with money laundering in the now scrapped Delhi liquor policy. But there's a war over what he eats and the insulin that he says he's being denied.